Hello everyone, and thank you for clicking on this video. And before I get into the topic today, I just wanted to go over some things about the channel. First of all, thank you everybody for subscribing, as I am very close to hitting 100 subscribers. And I just wanted to say thank you for that. Also, as some of you may have noticed, I dipped my toes into making some Halo content with my last video, and I am a very big fan of that franchise, so expect more videos related to Halo. Going forward, you should expect about half my videos to be Halo and half my videos to be about Destiny. This gives me more flexibility and allows me to express my opinions about two of my favorite video games. But anyways, let's get into the video and discuss how Bungie should fix strikes. Strikes were at one point the go-to PvE activity. Strikes were a key part of every DLC for Destiny. But ever since the seasonal model was created for the Destiny franchise, strikes have become more and more obsolete and pointless. What made the strike playlist fun was there was good exclusive loot, strikes did not have to be Nightfalls to drop their loot, and the strike playlist offered a wide variety of missions on various locations with different mechanics that made each strike feel unique and fun to replay. This has all changed in recent years, as strikes have almost no exclusive loot, we get almost no new strikes every year, and the few strikes we do get are not rewarding enough to play, and soon we are about to start losing strikes because Bungie is vaulting planets to save space in the game. There are many fixes to all of these problems, and I would like to go over them in today's video. The biggest thing Bungie needs to address is strike-specific loot. Strikes in Destiny 1 all had exclusive pieces of loot, but now in Destiny 2, only a few strikes have specific loot, and they can only be earned through the Nightfall versions of the strike. Bungie simply needs to add more loot for all strikes. Every strike should have at least one weapon and one armor piece. This strike-specific loot should be able to be earned in all versions of the strike, but should be able to be earned easier through the Nightfall versions. Also, instead of sunsetting old strike loot so that it can't be used anymore, Bungie should simply introduce new perks to every strike loot pool every couple seasons or so. That way, players will naturally give up their old strike loot in favor of getting the new strike loot that has better perks and is more appealing. Adding strike-specific loot is a simple thing that Bungie can do that would add a lot of incentive to playing strikes, but that can only keep the community busy for so long, and Bungie needs to add way more strikes every year than they currently do to keep players invested in the strike playlist. I believe every season should add 2 strikes. I go over this more in depth in my How to Fix Seasons video, but basically I think Bungie should make 2 strikes every season, one for the start of the story and one for the end of the story. This way, Bungie has an easy way of telling the seasonal story for every season and allowing players to replay the seasonal story in future seasons. These new strikes would not only give every season a good amount of new content, it would also add 8 new strikes every year to the strike playlist, and would help keep the strike playlist full as old strikes are taken away with old planets. So I've just gone over how Bungie should keep the strike playlist fresh and full of loot that's worth playing for, and that is just all for normal strikes. I would like to talk about how the Nightfall strikes should be treated going forward. First of all, Nightfall strikes and Ordeal Nightfall strikes should be combined into one playlist. This way, players have multiple Ordeal Nightfalls they can play every week, so that playing the Ordeal Nightfall every week does not become stale by playing one strike over and over again. I mean, how did Bungie think grinding one strike non-stop all week would be fun? It just burns players out and is not a fun way to spend your time. Anyways, in addition to having these 3 Nightfall ordeals to grind every week, I think the loot systems should be changed as well. My idea would be at the end of every Nightfall ordeal, you have multiple chests, and the better score you get, the more precise you can choose your loot. For example, at 50,000 score, you can choose between receiving either armor or weapons. At 100,000 score, you can choose the element of your gear, and at 125,000, you can choose the stat your armor gear is focused on. This system would reward players' time very nicely, as it would allow them to chase specific pieces of loot, and it would give players an extra incentive to do well on the Nightfall score. Grandmaster Nightfalls also need major improvements. They are currently arguably the most difficult PvE activity, and they drop the same loot as all Nightfalls underneath it. To fix this, I think Grandmaster Nightfalls should be able to drop exotic ciphers, as this way there would be an actual in-game way of earning exotic ciphers outside of the one that you get every season on the Battle Pass. And if Bungie did implement these exotic cipher drops, I think they should also enhance what the exotic ciphers can be used for, and I think they should be used to purchase exotic catalysts through Xur. Every week, I think Xur should bring one exotic catalyst that you can purchase for a certain amount of exotic ciphers, and those exotic ciphers, as I just said, would only be earned through the Grandmaster Nightfall, which I think would make the Grandmaster Nightfall challenge an actual worthwhile activity to do. So, to recap all the changes I outlined in this video, Bungie should make 8 strikes throughout the year. Every strike should have one weapon and one armor piece exclusive to it. Nightfalls should have better loot dependent on your score, and Grandmaster Nightfalls should drop exotic ciphers, which in addition to their current purpose, can be used to purchase exotic catalysts from Xur. All of these changes together I think would fix the strike playlist and make strikes worth playing again. But anyways, that is all I have to say for this video, and I would love to hear your thoughts on how to fix strikes in the comments down below. And if you liked the video, please subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, goodbye.